Back again. Welcome back, BurningNumbers Podcast. I'm going to pass it over to Numayr. We're going to talk about success. What does it take to be successful?
So I'm going to go first, start with the Google definition of what success is.
Go for it.
That's how you do it. The success is the accomplishment of an aim or purpose, or the good or bad outcome of an undertaking. We're going to go with the first definition because I think that's the one we want to talk about mainly, is being able to accomplish an aim or a purpose.
Right.
So what people would definitely mainly define success as is being accomplished in their specific careers, right? Whether it's being a footballer, building a business, being a scientist, whatever it is, it's accomplishing what you aim to do in your career.
Yeah.
So like, where would your stance be when it comes to like success? Like, how would you define, if you were saying you were successful, what is your success?
For me personally?
Yes, for you personally.
I think that's very difficult to answer. So for me, probably success. I don't know, because I would define success as like financial freedom, and so I'm able to do the things that's not involved in my career, or allow my career to not be okay. Yeah, there we go. That's my definition of success. So my definition of success would be to allow me to pursue my career without the need of financial gain. And so like I could do whatever job I want to do and I could just not get paid for it, right?
Okay.
And so I'm in the pursuit of the financial part currently. And when that is successful, then I'm successful because I can now do whatever I want to do. Okay. Job or not, you know? But I think for a lot of people, and where we should kind of go with this conversation is like, what does it take regardless of, so like personal traits, for example, what does it take as like a personal trait for you to become a successful football player or a lawyer, regardless of what you want to do? So what do you think that like you have to be? Obviously you can't be a twat.
Yeah. There's like the main things you got to do. I think the thing that you got to know about, I think being able to succeed in anything that you want to do is being able to put hours in, right?
Okay, yeah.
And to put the days in, the weeks, like constantly just hitting at the same goal, just constantly, and like working towards that, without failing, without giving up. I think that's the hardest thing that people find to do is being able to do that.
Yeah.
And as well as putting the hours in, you got to put the useful hours in. You can't do something that's not that useful. Like similar, but it's not as useful. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
So like time management, you're saying like prioritizing what's important. If you're a recruiter, then you can't just spend all your time looking on social media to try and find somebody. You got to get on the phone and call them, because until you do the calls, then you're not going to get the people, right?
Yeah, it's like you can't always be on the phone to recruiters and not find recruitees, right?
Yeah.
Like you have to have the good balance. Like let's say, let's talk about in terms of like studying.
Yep.
You can't spend your entire time reading the same book and not practicing the questions.
Yeah.
Like you've got to be able to put your time correctly and be able to put a lot of time into it to be able to achieve a specific goal.
So would you say that it's easy to be successful if you don't have like other priorities? Let's say like you're a single mother, but you also have career ambitions. Do you think it's more difficult?
100% it's more difficult because you have the family aspect.
Yeah.
It's like if you were a single person with no family like to take care of, I'd say it is easy. In a sense, like in a general sense, it is easier. Like you could argue that people with like children and stuff have more reason. Like they have more motivation to be successful because they have people to take care of.
Yeah.
But I think in a general sense, if you don't have anyone to take care of, you can put most of your time towards working at a specific goal.
Yeah, but then again, obviously there is still single moms that are successful in careers, and so I think what we're trying to get to is like time management is important, and if you're not good at time management, then you're not going to be able to do it regardless of your personal circumstances.
Yeah,
and so it doesn't matter what your personal circumstances are. If you're not good at time management, you're not going to be successful. Go on, what's the next trait?
What's my next trait?
Yeah.
Time management, I'd say I would say passion in a way.
Okay.
I think to be successful at something, you do need to be passionate for it.
Right.
Because I think, well, there are probably people, but most people wouldn't put so many hours, so many days into something if they weren't passionate about it, right?
Yeah.
Like if you had to do something you hated for your entire life, I don't think you'd do it at all.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it. So I think you do need passion for something.
Yeah. I don't think passion is the only motivator. So, for example, even if you hate it, then a lot of people do hate their jobs, maybe like a third of the population. And so, like, money is also another motivator. If you've got a family, kids, or just anybody, a big mortgage or whatever, then you could probably motivate yourself in that sense to move up, be good at your job. So I think passion helps dramatically because where the population size is getting so big, it's so competitive out there. And if you're not passionate, then you're not going to be putting, like you said, probably not going to put as much effort in, or not going to be as focused on whatever your goal is, where other people will be, because you're focused on, oh, I need to get the money to pay my mortgage. I need to get money to feed my kids. And you're focusing on your kids rather than you focus on the goal.
And I want to reiterate on the success definition, right?
You're gone.
So a lot of people think success is like correlated to money directly, right?
Yeah.
I want to argue that it's not just money. Like it is also like in terms of happiness, general happiness. And I think if you're doing something you hate, in my head, I don't think that is successful.
Agreed. Yeah. And I think what's the worst type of failure is when you get to the goal which you want to achieve and you're not happy. Let's say, for example, you want to be a CEO of a company. You get to CEO and you're not happy. This is not what you actually wanted. And that is like the ultimate failure, right?
That is a failure. That is, I would say that is a failure as well. I think what most people do, to be fair, I think the silver lining of the failure is once you reach that point, I think you have a better idea about where you want to go.
Yeah.
Because you realize that you've worked so hard, you got to the spot and it's not what you thought it was. And I think you get a better idea about what you wanted.
Yeah.
So I think it is more than a failure. It's just more of another stepping stone.
Let's talk about entrepreneurship in a sense of like why people fail, because I think that relates to like most things anyway. So yeah, why do you think
entrepreneurship? I think it comes with I think it's a factor of three things.
Yeah.
One of them is what we talked about already, is persevering, like motivation.
Yeah.
The other one is, I think it's lowering their own value.
Okay.
I think one of the, I'm not an entrepreneur. I don't know much about it, but I think one of the main things that you need to know about it is to know your value, right?
Yeah.
I think if you don't know your value, then if you've overvalue yourself, you're not gonna sell as much as you want.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the main things, and I think it is focusing with a positive attitude. If you don't have a positive attitude to doing things, to working, I think that is a step to fail.
Yeah. So the reality is, if you want to be the best out there, and there's so much competition, you need to dedicate a lot of time. And so if you're not motivated to do the time, then you're not going to be able to do it. And I understand it from a personal sense as well. A lot of things, if you want to be the best at football, you're probably going to be doing a lot of practicing, time in the gym, This kind of becomes lonely in a sense. And people don't like that. So I think a lot of the time when you want to be successful, reach the top of any career sense or or business sense, it requires you to do or learn a lot of things you don't want to learn. So have you read the book by Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad?
No.
So one of the things he says in there is that most people do not transition from an employee or self-employed over to business or investor because it requires you to learn a lot of things that most people are not interested in. It requires you to learn about taxes, accountancy, laws about it, like things like this. Nobody wants to really read about it. You're not an everyday standard person if you enjoy reading about the laws or you enjoy reading the Gov page about how you file your taxes, right? So because nobody wants to do this, It's a restriction to go into to try and build your own business. And so those sort of things. If you want to be the best lawyer, or anything, then you need the ability to sell, right? I don't care how good you are at painting a picture. If you can't sell that picture, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And so you need to be a good salesperson, regardless of what kind of industry you're in, which is, so you, to be successful, you can't just be like passionate and good at being a waiter or a waitress, or just being a manager. You need to be able to do lots of different skills that you may not even be interested in or want to learn, but you have to do it anyway. And so it's almost like your ambition for your goal that you have allows you to just get your head down, be lonely, do the things that you don't want to do that complements the thing that you want to do.
And I think that also comes with having a healthy mind, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people do argue, which is like, people are like, oh, if you're doing what you love, you don't need to do anything else.
Yeah.
And I think I disagree with that, like, quite a bit.
Yeah.
I think it's like I'm gonna take sportsmen for example, right?
Yeah.
Like Roger Federer, you would agree that this guy is like the embodiment of tennis. This guy loves to play tennis, right?
Yeah.
But even someone like Roger Federer will have a sport he plays on the side to get a break, to get a rest, right? Because I think what people think is to be able to do something is 24/7. You're only doing that one thing.
Yeah.
But we're humans. Like,
yeah.
It's a difficult thing to achieve. It's a difficult thing to do. Ideally, yeah, if it was possible, that'd be good. But in terms of having a healthy mindset, I don't think it's a great thing to do. I think you need to be able to split your time to have a mental reset.
Yeah.
On things. So like for me, I play table tennis and I play games.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm at university. I'm doing my degree for like 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
Afterwards, I'll go training and I'll reset myself to do it again tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that people need, is to have I'm going to call it a mental reset. I don't know the actual term for it.
Yeah.
But I think it's something that's quite important.
No, I like it. I think that kind of leads on to what I'm about to say next. So I mentioned it in my book, The Millionaire Slave.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just trying to find it just so I can read it straight. So, but basically on the idea of you want to be successful, there's 7 parts of your life. I got this idea from Tony Robbins. 7 parts of your life in which I think you can't just neglect all of it. So you've got your mind, your emotions, your personal finances, your relationships, your career, and your body. If you're you could prioritize and value most your career, and so that leads on to your success. But if you neglect relationships, if you are so focused on your job that you're working all the hours you can to be successful, and you leave your wife and kids at home, or you leave your husband and kids at home, and they feel neglected, they don't want the relationship anymore because they're not happy, they're not getting the time that they need, then that's going to cause so much stress for you if you end up having a divorce or a breakup, and then you got issues with the kids and things like this. So what I'm saying is also, like, for example, your personal finances. You could be pursuing your career and you could be amazing at that, and you can incorporate everything else. But if you're not having like like you said, a balanced lifestyle, and you're head over debt, you're being sued for all sorts of things, or you got debt collectors coming to you, you can't pay for a book that you need to read to pursue the career that you want. If your emotions are bad, if you wake up in a bad mood every single morning, you're not going to be successful in your career, right? So I think it's like, yeah, like you said, even if you're the best tennis player out there and you actually love it so much, you can't just dedicate all of your time to being a tennis player. You need to spend hours with your kids, hours with your husband and wife. You need to be focused on not spending all your money. You need to be focused on where you put your money. You need to be focused on waking up with that morning ritual that makes you happy and it gives you a positive, motivated mood to do that. Well, that might be meditation, that might be just like breathing exercises, that might be yoga, that might be going for a morning run, anything, right? So yeah, I think like balanced lifestyle in that sense is so important.
Actually, I realized that I didn't say what I think success is.
Go for it. What do you think
And
success
I'd
is?
say one of my main ideas of success is waking up in the morning and wanting to do the thing that you're doing.
Yeah. Okay.
So when you wake up in the morning, you want to do what your career is. Like you
Yeah.
don't wake up what the hell, man, I have to go to work today.
Yeah.
Like, you wake up and you're like, oh, I'm going to work today.
And,
Like, you don't have to be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to work. It's just like, oh, I'm going to work today. Yeah, it is what it is. I'm going to work hard today.
yeah.
I think a lot of people wake up and they're just like, oh, man, I've got work today. I don't want to go. All this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you wake up and you're like, oh, okay, it's work today. Let's do it. That is a much healthier way of living.
I think also I hope that you also know, or you will do, bear in mind after I said it, a lot of people have this issue where they have their idea of success and they interpret that with the idea of like a goal, right? So for example, once you reach your goal, you set a new goal.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that, oh, my idea of success is to wake up in the morning, or I want to get to the point of retirement, but I don't want to retire because I have the job that I want to do. And so let's say, for example, you get that in the next 5 years. You get the job that you wake up every single morning, you're so excited to do. You're successful and you can stay successful for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And so don't then change a different idea of success, you know?
Are you saying don't change your idea of success once you achieve
Yeah.
idea of success? Agreed.
Yeah. And I think people will like come out of the idea of success and completely mess up the balance that they had. But also it depends on like your belief system and values that changes. And bear in mind that we don't know what we want as human beings. So where our brain has developed over a long period of time, it's an old brain, it's an old system. We're hardwired biologically to avoid pain and pursue pleasure, right?
Yeah.
Fight or flight. You know, we're made to survive and reproduce. So we don't know what's going to actually make us happy, or we don't know this idea of success. There's a lot of people, loads of people out there, for example, they build a big company that they thought, you know, they gain everything that their idea of success is, and they get there and they're like, this is not making me fulfilled. I don't want this, you know? And sometimes they have a realization of, oh, this is actually what I think successful is. Maybe.
No, but I think the reason a lot of people get, I'm going to call it the wrong success, right? Like the success they get and they didn't actually want. And I think that happens for a mix of, I'm going to call it news outlets, social media, and all those kind of things. They display this idea of success.
Yeah.
Like if you think of the most successful people in the world, you think of Jeff Bezos, think people like that, right?
Yeah.
So I think they've engraved this idea of success to be something like that.
Of course.
And I think that's one of the reasons that people get a wrong success.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I think it's more to do with how the media shows pleasure, rather than how we actually perceive pleasure to be.
Yeah. I think that goes. Maybe I didn't explain myself properly, but I think they go hand in hand in what I'm saying. The fact that we don't have the ability to judge ourselves in what will make us happy and successful, and therefore we take in external ideas of what success is, such as what you've just said.
Yeah. So we've talked about, I think, 3 or 4 traits what it takes to be successful.
Yeah.
Out of the ones that what is any other ones that you think of right now?
I think
off the top of your head. So we talk about perseverance, motivation, putting that effort in, passion, financial gain.
Yeah, I think so I met this guy recently at Pizza Express, and I got talking to him. He owns multiple different trailer parks. So, you know, you can go like a holiday and you hire out this thing, or you can buy and sell it, whatever. He owns the actual park plots, right? The land. We got talking about his whole financial career and all this stuff and how he built up his business. And he, like probably a lot of other big entrepreneurs that you can mention, he left school at 10 years old, right? He can barely read and write well. But he understands financing, he understands accounting and things like that. So But what you can realize straight away, and he knows that this is biggest benefit is he's a very social and talkative person, and so he can build up the relationships with the people that can do the things for him. So he can like become best buddies with a lawyer, for example, right? And they're gonna be so happy to work for him because they build up loyalty and friendship with him. And so he no longer needs the skills of a lot of other things. And so for example, I think Jeff Bezos actually said this. I saw it on LinkedIn. He said, hiring people and then telling them what to do is stupid, not a good idea, whatever you want to say. We should be hiring people that can do things better than us, and then they can teach us how to do it, right? So our employees should be better than us, and we just need to lead them, but they can teach us and they do the actual job.
Yes.
But actually hiring somebody and then teaching them how to do something isn't logical.
This is less of a real situation, but I was watching a show about a startup company, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the CEO of that startup company,
mm-hmm.
she knew nothing about the actual company, like how, like the actual technical side of the company. It was a machine learning company.
Yeah.
And she knew nothing about it.
Yeah.
Right. Like she knew the basics of machine learning, but like she had 3 developers with her.
Yeah.
Who were like the best coders in the country.
Yeah.
They could have chose to work for anyone else, but I think the one thing you need is, if we're talking about like things like CEOs, is they need a vision. I think people buy into a vision and like I think we talked about this with prime minister stuff. You need to be able to like have that communication.
Yeah.
To be able, and the confidence in your communication to be able to do things like that. And the guy you met at Pizza Express.
Yeah.
The way you talk about him, I can imagine that he's able to really show his vision. He's able to really communicate his ideas to you quite well, right?
Yeah, in a sense, I understand him. I don't believe in him in a sense. He has different values or ideology than myself, which is why I probably don't connect with him as much as I could have. But have you heard a guy called Simon Sinek before?
No, you're gonna.
So Simon Sinek is like kind of one of the leading ideologists of how a leader should be, right? And he talks about one of his biggest points. He wrote multiple books on it. Is this idea of why? So if you look at Martin Luther King, if you look at Harley Davidson, if you look at Apple, they all have the reason why they exist. Martin Luther King, he had a dream that life would be multicultural and, they wouldn't be racist, right? So lots of people believed in that. He didn't, and he says, and he believed in this idea already. He didn't come up with the idea. So people wasn't even following him in a sense. He was just the physical figure of this idea and this belief system, his why he exists, and people believed in that, and therefore they followed him. Harley Davidson, people don't buy Harley Davidson stuff, the patches and all this stuff, because they love the bike. It's not the best bike in the world. I agree, they're beautiful, but the essence, the belief of why they exist, like this relaxed riding, this badass lifestyle, so people buy into that. Apple, they're not the best computers. A Mac isn't the best computer you can buy, right? And it's not great value for money, right? I think most people agree that, even if they got it. But if you walk into a coffee shop and you see somebody with a Mac, or you see someone with a Dell, that Mac is probably going to look shiny. That Apple sign is going to stand out, right? Because they care for the Mac. Because Apple's why is they believe in innovation, they believe in technology, and that sort of thing, right? So the type of person that buys a Mac is somebody who's going to like really value the belief system and care for the actual brand. Whereas Dell,
I think when people buy into brands, though, they do generally buy into the ethos of the brand.
The why, yeah. So I'm saying, where you were saying like the visionaries and the leaders in that sense, they have their idea of like why. So Mark Zuckerberg, his why, I think at the beginning was about having more of a social aspect, and people can communicate across large places and have this a book or a place where you can post information about yourself and other people can find out information without you actually communicating to them. I think, and so probably his employees believed in this why and wanted to work for the why. They didn't care about Mark Zuckerberg or what he's doing with it. They might not originally have cared for his wife, or they don't care, but they believed in his why, and then they liked him, they worked for him, and then he built a relationship, and then maybe they do care. I don't know. I think the why is the most important thing.
One of the things that is true is like the CEO, the owner of something needs a why.
Yeah.
And he needs to find the how.
Yeah.
Which is like how you're talking about, employ people that are better than you at certain at things.
Yeah.
I think that's the essence of how you should build any business, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like I'm not really into the like building a business thing. Like it's not really my thing, but from what I've seen is like it is what you need. Like me being me, I'm probably gonna work for a business, and I know that I will give value to that business. But I don't think to be a CEO is you need to. So I'm good at the hows. I'm not great at the whys.
Yeah.
So it depends on who you are, depending on how you want to do things.
Well, I think you understand that. Maybe subconsciously. So for example, let's say like you're going to work for some energy company and you have one company that says, oh yeah, I don't care what we do to the planet. I don't care what we do to the people in the surrounding areas, but we're going to produce this amount of X and we're going to get so much money from it. I believe in the monetary factor, and I'm going to pay you a lot of money. This is what I believe in, right? I believe in paying my employees a lot of money because we're doing this and we're focused on the money side of it. Yeah. From knowing you, think that you're less likely to work for them than someone that says, you know what, I care about the surrounding area. I care about all the people in the public. I don't want to pollute the seas. I don't want to pollute the air. I want to work towards a healthy, sustainable living for the community and saving the planet and all these ideas. But unfortunately, instead of like this other company, you're going to get paid 75,000. I'm going to pay you 50,000. You're probably more likely to go work or more passionately work for the £50,000 because you 100%. Believe in their why. Exactly. Yeah. So I think you do understand it more than you let yourself on to understand it.
Mm-hmm. No, but again, that's what I'm saying though. I believe in the why, and that's why I want to be the how for the why I believe in.
Yeah, I think most people do. Yeah. And sorry, go on.
That's saying that there's a minority who know how to be the why.
But being the why, okay, let's take that. That's interesting. Let's say, for example, I'm Jeff Bezos. His how is to bring together other people who also believe in his why.
Yes.
So he's not a why. He is a how, but he's just collectively bringing other people who also believe in the same things that he believes in.
I would disagree. I think he is definitely a why, in the sense that the thing that he wanted to do was like, I still think he still hasn't succeeded in it, is having one centralized shopping market, right? Mm-hmm. Like having everything in one area.
Yeah.
Like it still hasn't been fully completed. Like he still hasn't monopolized like the shopping industry.
Yeah.
But his why is to bring everything together, and his how was to get people who believed in his why to all sell on his website.
Yeah.
So I still think that Jeff Bezos, in that sense, is a why. Like his why was to bring everything together.
But a why is usually something bigger than yourself, so you're not actually that. If that makes sense.
It makes sense, but in my head, it's still saying like his why was why do you want to do it? I want to bring everything together.
Yeah, but how are you going to do that? Other people probably also had that why.
Huh?
Other people also had that belief system.
And that's why I'm saying, you need to have specific skills to be a why.
Mm-hmm.
Like you need to be able to.
So he was the how.
Huh?
He was the better how.
He was the better how for being a why. Yes.
He knew
how to be a why better than the other whys.
Yeah. I want to take you to this. So I don't know if we talked about it before in another episode, but people there's two reasons why you like somebody. People like people who are like themselves or like how they want to be.
Yes.
And that also comes to like the belief system. So for example, let's say you you go to another country, you come to England, you're more likely to if you meet another Pakistani person, you've got something in common. You know that your belief systems is probably very similar, and so you connect with them so easily. I see it the same with like motorcyclists. When I see another motorcyclist, you've instantly got a connection. One thing, you both probably love motorcycles. You probably don't like cars as much. You probably get annoyed by like car drivers, and you've got these common beliefs and values. And so everything about building up relationships is about finding rapport based on things that you have in common. Now, we talked about rapport in another one where you like, it's not just about what you say or what you believe. It's also about like how you say it, the body language you give. Are you mirroring that sort of thing? But if you wanted to be like a leader and get into the top of like business, then you need to be able to communicate your why and your belief system. And then also you'll be finding you're only really going to draw people towards you who are also believing in your why.
Yeah.
And then it's just about your ability to draw the people towards you, which Jeff Bezos was very good at.
I'm kind of confused about where you're trying to lead me towards in this.
I'm kind of like just giving you another idea or concept that backs up the idea that it's not a lot of about being the top entrepreneur is not just about your ability to create a product, or you could be the best web designer in the world.
But yeah, it's about showing your product, like being able to display it, like.
But it's about bringing the people together who also believe in what you believe to be able to produce it. You can't build Facebook with just one person. Facebook is too big,
agreed.
you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Mark Zuckerberg. I don't know how good he is at coding or creating everything, but he was able to bring the people together. He sold his idea. He sold his why. You know.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I don't have anything to say against that. To be fair. Like, what can you say against that? Like that, what you're saying is 100% right. Like, yeah, they were able to show what they want to show and be able to get people to buy into it and get that thing to work to get going.
Yeah. Do you think that we should also incorporate this idea into everyday life? Like, you should really focus on, if you meet a new person, just finding out what, you know, I really hate when someone says to, let's say like you meet somebody first time, they probably ask your name, they ask where you're from, then they ask, what do you do? And then you will respond, my name is Numayr Malik, I come from Pakistan, I'm a student physicist, right? But your life and your why, what you believe in, I don't think it's about physics. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Okay,
but it's more of us. I think that comes more of us from a societal norm.
Like, which is why I hate it.
Yeah. If someone up to me, he was like, "Why are you living?" I'm gonna be like, "What?"
Yeah. I know, but yeah, okay. But regardless of the question, like, okay, what do you do? Yeah, you could say, I don't know what your why is. I'm not sure if you even told me, but so for example, myself, I think my current why is I believe in trying to help people financially to become financially free so they can pursue similar things to my idea of success. So they can pursue whatever they want to do. They don't have financial stress. They can continue doing the job that they love, and they can focus on other parts of their life, like their relationships, their emotions, their mind, their body, these sort of things. And so that's my why. But if someone comes up to me, my initial reaction, because of society, is just to tell them what my day job is. You know? And so I hate that. That doesn't tell you anything about the person. That just tells you how you get a paycheck every month.
Because I think, and to be fair, like I'm going to talk about for me personally, I think my why has changed over the years.
Yeah.
I think my general my overarching why is quite similar. Like I like to help people, but it's like I've always thought of it in a different way. So I remember when I was like 13, I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to help people. I wanted to be a surgeon. I was hell bent on being a surgeon.
Why did you want to be a surgeon?
Because my grandma was a surgeon. I really like looked up to her.
Yeah.
And I think that's something like it was motivation for me to become a surgeon as well. But then I realized that I like to work with numbers, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to work in like financial services.
Yep. And who also works in financial services in your family?
At that time, no one did.
Okay.
Now my brother does, but that
Yeah.
is a now thing.
Okay. Yeah.
And then that changed afterwards
Yeah.
because I kind of found the financial sector to be quite a toxic place, like personally for me.
Yeah.
So then it became for me, I wanted to become a scientist to fulfill my curiosity, right? And then now, so my why has been changing because I don't think I found a why that suits me properly. So like my why now has become, I'm now in my degree learning the skills that I want, like the technical skills that I want to be able to become like. So what I want to do now is become a consultant, is to go into a company and kind of help solve their problems.
Okay. Yeah.
So what I'm looking at is becoming a more tech-based kind of consultant, which is like I want to become a person that's be able to go into a company, really understand the company and kind of help them with their problems.
Okay, that's more of a how. So what is your why?
My why is I like going in and solving problems.
No, that's not your why. That's a how. What is your why? What does the problem solving actually do?
It help. So it's weird. Like I like help. I like the feeling that I get from helping people.
Yeah. Just to pause you here. Back onto the idea. Yeah, you move back. You're not sure. You're not comfortable with the question, and so you move back. Just the body language.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting. Go on, carry on.
Yeah, you got me. I ain't gonna lie, you got me there.
Yeah.
But it's like the why. My why is quite it's quite scattered.
Okay.
So I know what I like to do, right?
I really want to go into this because I find it very interesting.
Yeah.
So I think what you're aiming towards, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what you're aiming towards is you love the problem solving and you want to go into probably specific industries because you said tech, and you want to solve the problem so they can then do something. So you believe in almost their why, but their why also correlates to your why. So I'm not sure what your why is, which is why I'm asking you. And so am I right in saying it's probably to do with like you believe in the ability to the same thing with like Facebook to communicate? And so what is your why in a sense? It's probably not communicate.
That's what I'm saying. My why, I like it's such a hard thing to explain.
Yeah.
Right. It's like it's more like I think everyone's why is quite a selfish why, right? It's to fulfill their own satisfaction, right?
Yeah.
Like why do you help people in financial services? Like you help people work with financial gain, right?
Say again. Like, do I gain financially from helping others?
You love to help people financially, right?
Yeah.
Why do you love to help people financially?
Well, the kind of not review, but the feedback. So, for example, if you're stressed out, you're drowning in debt, you have a vision of your life being much better, but you can't actually do it. And so I come along and I help you and I show you the way, guide you through it, coach you through it, and then you become fully independent, and then you become less stressful. Your relationships change, all this stuff. Your life has changed completely because of your finances, right?
Yeah.
You then come to me and be like, Josh, you've completely changed my life. This part of my life's better. This part of my life's better. I can focus on my career. My relationship with my wife is so much better because the majority of divorces happen due to financial stress. That's a fact. And so your life has changed so much. And so when someone comes to me and they says that, the feeling that I get that I've actually impacted someone's life so dramatically, that is what I'm pursuing.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like you like what you like. I'm gonna go on a whim here. What you wish to gain.
Yeah, everything's selfish. Yeah,
it's for your own personal gain. So like for me, it's like I like the feeling of being able to go somewhere, wherever, and just be like, yo, what's your problem? I'm gonna fix it. Like, I think that's quite cool. Like, I personally think that's a really cool thing to have.
I think you're almost thinking, maybe this is going to be like a realization for you, but have you looked into the idea of coaching? Because coaching.
I have.
You have. So like a life coach, it doesn't matter what your problem is. The skill of a life coach is understanding people and understanding how to ask the questions to get the right results. So, for example, I could ask you questions that you may not be realizing, And so you completely change your perspective. So for example, at the beginning, you might have been thinking, oh, I want to go into a business and solve the problems of the business. Whereas most people's problems are not with the business. You're just, maybe you're focusing on a business problem, but that's not people's problems. And that's not going to fix the people's lives. So maybe you're thinking,
I've seen, I have, the reason that I like to do more of a business aspect is because in terms of coaching, I feel like coaching is such a broad thing, right?
Yeah.
And it's something that when you do it, it's like you bring loads of different skills. I want to put skills that I'm passionate and like I like to do, right? So like for me, the one thing I realized throughout my degree is that I really love working with data. Like I don't know why, it just makes me happy.
Yeah.
So it's something that that's something that I want to make sure that I'm focusing on when I'm pursuing problems. So like one of the things I was looking at is actually teaching.
Okay.
Because I did tuition for a little while for a few A-level students. And the feeling that I got from helping these A-level students was quite helpful. Like it hit me quite hard. Like I remember one of them, like she got an A, she came up to me, she was like, I couldn't have done this without you.
Yeah.
Like it's like that kind of thing, it does hit, right?
Yeah.
So like I wanna be able to do that on a scale for skills that I like to do personally. So I only did that for financial gain. I want to do something in terms of data and tech. And I think that's why that kind of field of tech consultancy or like data science is something that I really want to go into, because my why is doing something, is helping people or businesses, no matter what, helping in my own field. And that is my why. And my how.
No, that is your how. That's not your why. Your how is you're going to help that. You have a why, and your how is you're going to help them with the data.
My why is helping people. Like I like why do I do things? I like the satisfaction of people telling me that I've helped them.
Okay.
My how is helping them.
Okay, but why have you helped them? What benefit do they gain from that?
The benefits I gain a mix of two things. I get
no, the benefits that they gain.
The benefits they gain, is that I can't, whatever issues they had, it's solved. Like they can move.
What specific issues?
So like a lot of companies have like data privacy issues, data security issues. If I go in and solve that, they can proceed with that data without the worry of it being hacked into.
Okay, so do you care more about the business not getting sued, or do you care more about the users not having the data?
I say I care more about the users. Like privacy data is an insane thing. Like data privacy, sorry.
Yeah.
So I think I'm more concerned on the idea that people's data should be kept private. So if you've given a company your data, that data security needs to stay where it is.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull a why just out of the air that might relate to you. So your why may be like, I believe that people should be able to use the internet and different platforms from multiple different businesses and have all of their data secure and private. And I don't want people to be worried about that sense. How I'm going to do that is I'm going to work for businesses as a consultant and data analysis. And I'm going to look for the errors in their data privacy. And then solve those problems.
Yeah.
You understand where the why is, and the difference.
I understand what your why is. I understand how you're doing the how.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna relay it again, which is why I want to do the job is because I like the satisfaction of helping people. Like the rush that I get from knowing that I've helped people generally.
But you don't know you helped them until you get the response of the feeling response. So for example, my why, I'm not going to reiterate the whole thing, but I'm focused on the response of them coming to me and saying, I'm also like, when I get the review of the success of their life has changed in different areas, for example, the relationship, when they come and tell me that the relationship is now not going to be a divorce anymore because their finances are great, then I feel like my why is fulfilled, you know?
Yeah.
So it's when I get a specific almost action from a specific person that I've helped, then it fulfills my why.
Okay.
It's not like about, when I get the feeling is induced by an external factor.
You know what? I'm gonna have to sit down and think about that.
Interesting, isn't it? Yeah, but I think that a lot of people should think about their why, because it helps them like pursue what they actually want. And I always talk about, for example, when we talk about, is there any point going to university? In that, it's like, do you know why you want to go to university? Do you know what is actually going to make you feel like you're successful, make you feel like you're happy?
Yeah, I think we spoke about this when we were in sixth form as well, right?
Yeah, probably.
Which was like, why do you want to go to university? And I think I just said that's what I was like. It was like, so for me personally, it was like I wanted to fulfill curiosity.
Yeah.
And then the problem that I had with that is that whatever thing I had, the curiosity I had, it was fulfilled. So then I think by third year-ish, I was like, why am I even here?
Yeah.
And then I kind of looked back at what I've achieved in my degree.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized it showed me aspects about myself that I didn't know about myself before.
Yeah.
Like you knew me to like play games and stuff, but you didn't know me as a tech person back in school, right? I was just a science. I just did physics and maths. But I realized that I really loved to work with tech once I got into uni.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it showed me a new kind of why, because I feel like my the why that I had when I went to university was quite short-lived.
So if you went back with your understanding now, would you have changed what you've done at university? Would you have done physics, or would you have done something like IT based?
I probably would have not gone to uni.
Okay.
Because I
love hearing that. Say that again. Yeah.
Hear me out.
Go on.
And the reason I probably wouldn't have gone to uni is because in the specific thing I want to do, I don't think uni is necessary.
Mm-hmm.
I think in terms of IT and things like that, there are a lot. This is where I talk about apprenticeship schemes are quite useful, because one thing that's most useful that I realized is, as much as technical skills are useful, is the experience that you gain.
Yeah.
And like I feel like I've only had a year of experience in terms of tech solving, let's say. Yeah. Tech problem solving. I've only had a year, whereas I could have had 3 years.
Yeah.
If I worked somewhere as an apprenticeship.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I probably wouldn't have gone to uni
if
I knew what I knew now back then.
I love that, man. Obviously, as you know, I'm such a big advocate of really knowing essentially your why you exist, and then pursuing that directly rather than learning a broad topic through university, with all of the errors with debt, spending social time drinking and shit like this. Yeah, I don't think you did that, but but yeah, man. I think why is very important in people's success. I'm linking it back to the topic of this video now. Success. Why?
I think the why is very important in success.
Yeah. So regardless of your personal traits, if you want to be successful, find out why you exist in the first place, like why you want to achieve what you want to achieve. Because if that's not in line with you as a human being, then you're going to spend so much time learning things that maybe you don't want to learn either. If you like I said before, accounting, taxes, law, anything, even if you're building your own business, then if you don't know your why, and then you're pursuing something that's just going to be a waste of time, it's inefficient and things like this.
I think if you don't know your why as well, I think we talk about time management, right?
Yeah.
I think if you don't know your why, your time management skills decrease as well.
Yeah.
Because you're not like, why are you putting your time into certain things? It's like, you need to know why.
Yeah. Your priority system.
The keys to success do all originate from the why you want to be successful.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
But I think we can cut it there.
Yep. BurningNumbers Podcast. Start with your why. I love that. That's actually a good book. Go read that. Simon Sinek, Start With Why. He's got another one called Leaders Eat Last or something like that.
Simon Sinek.
Yeah.
Start With Why.
Yeah.
TED Talk.
Yeah, it's a TED Talk. He did a TED Talk. It was the third most viewed TED Talk in the world. It went fully viral. It was really good. Yeah. Anyway, let's promote our own stuff before other people's.
Millionaire Slave.
Yeah, the Millionaire Connection, the Millionaire Slave, Numayr, Malik. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.